Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers Fantasy Football Premier League podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon and Hector, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on in their battle to become the crowned champions for 2021-22. Eamon, you're welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back again, so it is.
Hector is running a little bit late. He will be joining us. So look, we'll carry on with the show.
Look, we'll get on with this without him after all. Look, what he knows about football, you could write on the back of a box of matches that you could.
And now, Eamon, you're being really, really harsh about this.
Well, look, sorry. I'm being factual here. I mean, half the time he's talking nonsense. I mean, he's either whittering on about cantering stuff or he's talking about making cakes without eggs. I mean, let's get on with the football. You and I discuss the football.
All right, okay, Eamon. Well, I suppose, first off, we're coming into game week 9, and at this point we're going to close off the option if anybody was interested in joining the Arkham Avengers Fantasy Football League. You still have time. We'll be shutting it down on Friday at about 6:30. And if you are interested, listeners, do send us an email at arkhamavengers@ffpl@gmail.com, and we can reply back to you and provide you with the code. Okay, so game week 8, we're going to have a look to see how our managers got on. Eamon, you were talking about, and this appears to be like a recurring theme here, that some forwards are just not doing it, are they?
Indeed, they are not doing it. You just look at the scandalous number of points that the Ronaldo and the Lukaku get, even Antonio. Like, these guys should be racking balls in and getting points in there. They've completely gone off the boil. I don't know what's happened to them.
You'd have a concern if you were a manager having these players. They're expensive.
They are expensive. We touched on this the other show. This is, you have to start to wonder, do they factor in your team?
But then you take them out and they might come good.
That's quite correct, yes.
And with that, sure, we'll have a look to see how our managers have got on. First place, we have a brand new entry, and this is KDB. This is our new manager. They've joined the league and they've gone straight in at number 1.
It's like one of these singles that's released and it always shot top of the charts, so it has.
Indeed it has, Eamon, I have to say. Anyway, very welcome to our new manager here. So they had one transfer. They brought Cancelo in and they put Alonso out. Good move.
Well, they got 6 points for Cancelo, so it is a good result. Alonso didn't play, so your quid's up that way there. They had Salah as their captain, a good choice, 26 points. I do think that's the forwards a little bit light. Like Ronaldo got the 2 points, Antonio just got 1. Jimenez got 1 point as well. Reasonably good defence. I'd be happy with that there. I know Semedo got the 1 point, but like the goalkeeper got 6, Trent Alexander got 6, Cancelo 6, Duffy got 5. Looking good. There's a bit of form in there. I do like that there. If I had one critique here, I'd have to say that I think the midfield are looking a little bit light. Benrahma, 3 points. Sarr, 2. Look at the bench. I know some players didn't play, but you need to have some players playing and have some points there. But look, it is good.
59 points, not too bad.
No, it's not too bad at all. It's quite good. You got above the average.
Yeah, the average points this week in game week 8 were 49 points, and the highest was 122.
Yeah, so they're 10 points ahead of that. So that's quite good. I think they're having Ronaldo there, and he does shine at times. But I also thinking that he is the new donkey. Fernandes was the donkey, and I think Ronaldo's turning into him.
It's a bit hard, isn't it?
It is a bit hard, but he needs to be doing more than just turning up on the pitch. He needs to be performing and doing something. I think that's lacking there. But look, overall, each of this manager should be pleased, happy. Go straight into a league and go to number 1. It is no mean achievement. It's good stuff, Saudis.
And there are 5 weeks on the rise overall in the league, so they're doing well there.
Well, that's it was good. Look, it looks good for them. Good.
Okay, so that's our latest and newest team. In second place now is Toboggers 6, and they got 61 points. No transfers, Eamon.
Strange move that. But then again, if you get 61 points without having to do a transfer, it can be quite well there.
They had Salah as the captain as well, 26 points. By far, we're only looking at the second team here, but look, the results say it all. Like, he's very good.
Yeah, very good. Well worthy to have him in there. Look, I think again, no more than KDB, they have a solid defence. Christensen got 6, Matip got 6, Livramento 6, Smedo let it down, got 1, but look, it's not too bad there. Up front, wise to have Vardy. At least he got 8 points there. That's doing well. Again, apart from Salah, the midfield are looking weak, so they are there. Benrahma got the 3 points. Saka ended up getting no points. And again, like Alonso and Rafinha not playing. Brownhill got 2 points. That needs to change a bit there.
Yeah, okay. And this is their second week rising overall there. Any advice, Eamon?
Well, I do think that certainly, I think the midfield and the forward line needs to be looked at a little bit more. Need a little bit of tweaking here. And I think it's going to be time to see what this manager is made of.
Okay, yes, okay. Third place is Raglan Road, 54 points. They had 1 transfer. They brought Duffy in and they put Kofal out. It was a good move, Eamon. They got the 5 points for Duffy and Kofal had nothing.
Well, that's a good move. That is a good transfer. And you have to maximise the transfers there.
Okay, Salah's the captain again, 26 points. Everybody must be really going for Salah.
He's dependable. You have to look at that and say, who else would you be selecting?
Okay. Now, their forward line, of course, you'd say it's not really performing, is it?
Well, look, it's all 2s along there. That's the only consistency. Tony 2, Ronaldo 2, Saint Maximin 2. Really, in my view, it's not a performing forward line. I wouldn't be rating that at all. Midfield is a bit of a shake-up job there. Greenwood got 7, but I mean, Saka has nothing. Dallas 2 points. Defensively, a little bit light. White and Diaz getting 1 point each. Duffy, as you said, 5 points, and Sanchez, the goalkeeper, is done well there. There's one positive here, of course, when you look at the bench, is that, Suik got 3 and Guello got 4. There's points there on the bench. But I think, they're holding their own, and this is the main thing, is the important thing.
They're 4 weeks on the rise. And I think, of course, with the arrival of the new manager, a lot of these managers and teams who were like Tobarger's 6 was first place last week, and if the new manager didn't come in, it's still been first, and Raglan would be in second. So they've dropped down a place there.
Yeah, they have dropped down, and I think some of the managers now, this might be a wake-up call for them, an understanding to see that, we have new managers who in the league, and now we have a new manager who's come in, and he's shaking things up a little bit here.
In fourth place then is Legion 11, and they got 57 points. Now, they played their wildcard. Again, they had Salah as the captain, 26 points. And I suppose, Eamon, there's a lot of positive. Like, did they maximise this wildcard? I certainly think they did. They have 3 6s at the back from the defence. You couldn't ask any better than that. The midfield, a little bit, apart from Salah, a little bit of weakness there, but they got points, which is of some use there. Again, the forward line not really doing much there. Now, okay, their bench looks healthy. Grealish didn't play, but Dunk had 9 points, and I'm sure it's a pity that they didn't have the 9 on the bench. And Cody got 7, and it might be time for the manager to have a think and a look at these players and utilise them a little bit more. But I suppose overall they're keeping pace. In fifth place is Ain't Got a Clue. 70 points and no transfers, Eamon. Talk to us about this.
Well, this is the manager who I think has switched off. How they got 70 points without doing anything with their team is perplexing and confusing to me. Now, they have Van Dijk still as the captain. They have 12 points there. Stones got 6. Alexander-Arnold's got 6. Maguire didn't get anything. And they had Chilwell, who came in as a substitution with 15 points. And they had Salah. And they had Neves in the middle there. So another 8 points. They also had Ings, though, at the forward, 7 points. So, I mean, they're getting points all over this pitch, aren't they? They are getting the points on the pitch. I'm not sure why. Well, they've got the players for a start. And maybe this manager, I know you've criticised this manager saying that they haven't made enough transfers. This has to, reflect that the manager maybe doesn't feel like he needs to do any transfers. He's taking a gamble with his captain constantly. If he changed it to Salah, he'd have been thinking even more. Everybody is not going to go for Salah, and maybe this chap has decided, I'm not going for him. Possibly not, but excuse me, I still think there's quite a large element of coasting on this here. Then down in sixth place is Arkham Avengers, 54 points. They opted for the free hit. And again, Eamon, they had Salah as the captain at 26. Now, they brought in Kokora, and he got 5 points. That was a good transfer player to bring in, wasn't it? Yeah, a different player to bring in. This is the spoofer personified. Like, he's playing a free hit to get 54 points. Okay, one decent thing he did here was to drop the Ronaldo. the new donkey out, and he brought Vardy and he got 8 points, there. But he's now ended up with, some more serious decisions to make. Like Saka is carrying a possible injury. Decore, if I'm correct, has a broken foot. And will he bring Ronaldo back in? So he's going to lose. He's going to have one free transfer. Is he going to lose more points here? Quite possibly. This is the spoofer. I'd be very interested to see what he does for game week 9 as such.
Okay, well, as I said, like, ain't got a clue. Went up a position. Everybody else is kind of going down the way there. Now, the Arkham Avengers altogether. This team are the second week on the rise. So, I mean, as much as you say that he's spoofing and gambling and taking any sort of an old pot shot to gather point, he is going in the right direction.
That is correct, yeah. He would be going in the right direction, but he's easily going in the correct direction at the moment. And, 6th place is a good place for the spoofer. I like to see him. I think that's a worthy spot for him there.
Okay.
Did you say Hector was joining us today, Sean?
He is, yes. He said he was joining us. He's running a little bit behind there, but he will be joining us. We go next then to 7th place with Blightsome squad. Blightsome got 51 and they had a transfer. They brought Martinez in and put Schmeichel out. Probably not the best transfer move. I mean, from my reading on it here, Martinez got the 1 point and Schmeichel got 2.
That's right, yeah. Probably a little bit of a wasted transfer. Again, they had Salah as our captain. A good decision there. A good solid enough defence, plenty of points across the board. I think Lukaku up front for the 2 points is a poor return there. But, their points on the bench as such. Certainly, I think it's a team that needs a little bit more adjusting, especially in the midfield there. I mean, if they're going making transfers in the future, they really need to make a bit of an effort with it, not just make a transfer for the sake of it there. To me, though, overall, I think it's a team that looks like it's off form.
Then in 8th place, we have Banford Rejects, and they're at 44 points, no transfer. Eamon, they decided to go with Fernandes as the captain.
Yes, they went for the donkey, the all-reliable donkey. There's not much I can say about this team or this manager. They've hit lucky a couple of times. They had Son who had 9 points. Mendy got them 9 points. Cash got them 6 points. Other than that, there was nothing. I mean, they've got 3 Leeds players on the bench. 2 of them are injured. This manager is just not with us. Somebody needs to set an alarm clock and wake this manager up, because they've suddenly just not developed anything here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is 1 week on the drop.
Well, they'll have more weeks on the drop if they don't get working on this.
Now, Hector, hello Hector, you've joined us.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm running late. I got a little bit held up and stuff like that. Hello to everyone. Eamon.
Hello, right, Hector. Hello. Nice of you to join us today. I'm sure you were keen to get on here. We've just been discussing some of the teams.
Yes. Oh, you're very good. Yeah, very good.
Okay, all right, okay. We're in 9th position at the moment here. We're looking at maximum effort, 44 points, and they had the 1 transfer. Hector, sure, look, we've put this over to you. Eamon's had enough chat so far about a lot of the teams.
I don't mind talking about any of the teams, Hector, you can just sit there and be quiet if you
want. No. I think, I had a look at the teams. They had the 1 transfer. They brought the Van Dijk in. I thought it was a good move. They put Pereira out, so they got points there. They have Mane as their captain. They got the 16. I think, their defense working. Solid enough, not doing too bad. I think, the forward line could have been better. You're not getting much points out of that. And the midfield, a little weak. Javi's got the 1 point. Benrahma got the 3 points. Probably not great. And, the bench, not doing much there at all. But I think when you look at it, they held their position.
Yeah, they've held their position. They're not really doing a lot, but they've survived another week there.
But they might have survived a week here. But overall, they're 4 weeks on the drop. It's a team that's going down overall and not really working there.
No, it's not. But look, they might turn something around here. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
10th place this week is Can We Win Again? Now, they got 27 points. They had 1 transfer. Hey, man, what's your take on this?
Yeah, they brought in Tamashi in. They got the 1 point for him. And they put Young out, who didn't get anything. I can't really say too much about the transfer. I don't think it was much of an effective transfer. They went for the donkey, Ronaldo. So they got 4 points there. Apart from, Van Dijk and Duffy at the back there, they got 6 and 5 points respectively. There's a lack of firepower on this team. And it's hard to see what's gone wrong here. I think some players are not performing for this manager. And it's a case of, manager now, he's going to have to shake things up.
Yeah, I think Eamon, you're right. Yeah, I look at the team here. I have question marks about like Odegaard and McArthur. Now I know, they had the Jota in there, and he could be playing sometime, but no play this time. I see him up to the Rafina. Jota and Rafina play one or 2 weeks, and they play very well. This is a better team there. And I want to say, I think that the forwards, for all of the managers, most of them, they're just not doing anything. And, the big question here will be, do you hold on to these players and stick out for a couple of weeks? Or is it time to shake them up? But if you shake them up there, Hector, who are you going to bring in? Because although Salah is doing really well in midfield and like Son is performing as well, there's a lack of players who are doing it week in, week out for forwards. Okay, you probably have Vardy, but you've nobody really else, have you? That is quite correct. But I think you have to have a look and see, what player is having an impact, who is working, who is backtracking. And then from there, perhaps maybe you see, what is the creativity, effectivity of some of the players. Certainly at the moment, I don't think that the Ronaldo has really getting much go with this, but then he won't go track back. To me, I think that Lukaku is just not getting enough feed of the ball, and that's not a problem with the midfielders. I think it's just that defenders are closing in, and I think this year there is more emphasis on the good defending, not the good striking. Now, Harry Kane would have scored. Could this be a turning point for him? It could be a turning point. I'd be very interested, but we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't hedge my bets just yet on him. So, can we win again? They're 3 weeks overall in the league dropping. They're in 10th place. Eamon, you're saying they could still turn this around. Oh yeah, most definitely. This is a case here, I have every faith in this manager. This manager is like the Kraken, waiting to awaken and strike back. And I think it'll take a couple of game weeks, but we're going to see this manager turn things around. The experience that this manager has is going to stick and work. Anything to add on that, Hector? Well, I think Eamon right. The manager has a lot of experience. They won last season. They know what it is to have to fight to dig out the results. I think Eamon right. They're going to turn this around. Can they win this? Well, that's the question. That's the name of the team. Can they win again? Will they be able to win again? They're going to have stiffer competition. We have a new manager in at number 1. Tobager 6 is there. Raglan Road is not dropping away. You also have the Legion 11. Not to mention then, you've got Arkham Avengers and the Blightsome squad. There are a lot of players and managers there who any of them could be worthy winners. So he will, have to do really good and really knuckle down to get a good point to make headway into that there. But I don't see why he cannot be in top 5 at very least. In 11th place then this week we have What a Beauty 99, 39 points. They didn't have any transfers. They decided to have Fernandes as the captain. Hector, would you like to have a talk about this team? Well, they did not do the transfer. And, I think they just got lucky when they had Salah and Fernandes and they got the 23 points. Other than that, there's not much going on at all here. Really, really poor. Munguelo and Duffy got 4 and 5, but nothing else there. And that's for bench. Torre's injured, Ofemi injured. The bench is dreadful. Yeah, I have to say, this is pretty pathetic, this. We spoke about Bamford's rejects, but this manager knows what needs to be done. They're not a first-time manager. This is a case of the lights are on, but there's no one in the house. And this manager is just sitting back. And I think that they must have just forgot that they've got a team. When we get to 12th place here, we see Lafayette Lions are at 51 points. They had one transfer. They brought Grealish in and he didn't play, so he didn't get any points. And they put Pogba out, so that was 1 point. So probably not the best transfer, is it even? Not the best. But however, they have Salah there, 26 points. Their defence a little bit mixed up. McCall at 1 point, White got 1 point, but then they had Alexander-Arnold at 6 and Livermenko 6. A little bit, it's mixed, it's balanced there, so it is. Usual business up the front, 5 points from the 3 players. Lukaku doing nothing much. St. Maximin not performing either. Antonio even worse. As you said, they brought Grealish in. He didn't play. It's unfortunate. He has been playing. Usually we get points. Jota didn't play. Another missed opportunity to get points when the players are not playing. Duffy's 5 points. So overall, they're walking away, and fair play to them. They're up at 12th. Yeah, they're up there. Yeah, and you know it when they, you know, you do think they started late and now they are up there. I think they're doing really well. You know, and it's their first time managed. They are. They're actually their track record isn't bad, lads. Overall, and you believe this or not, they're 5 weeks on the rise in the league overall. So you know they're matching. KDBs that they are. Like these are the two managers, 5 weeks on the rise. I mean, you have to go down as far as Raglan Road to get one of them. They're 4 weeks on the rise. I mean, I think that's fairly impressive.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it is impressive because I mean, they may not be rising massively here, but overall they're performing, and it shows they're getting the points in. So yes, very good.
Then down in 13th place is the Mighty Defenders, and they got 66 points. They applied a wildcard. Hector, I'll pass this one over to you. Yeah, you know, this manager been very quiet for the last few weeks. But the Salah, 26. They also had the Vardy, 8 points, so very good. And then, you know, I have to say, very good defensively. Cash, 6 points. Esquipeta has the 6. Cancelo has got the 6. Duffy has the 5. Good points all around. You know, adding up the points, they're looking good. And on their bench, they may not have big, massive points, but each of the players, they all had 2 points. And as I said before, this is what counts. This is it. You know, you have to get this in here. Good use of wildcard. I like the players that they brought in here. Very tasty. Very tasty. Eamon?
Well, you know, it's always challenging when you play your wildcard. And every manager plays it with the intention that you're going to get a result. They've got a result this week. The question will be, will they get a result in game week 9? And if they do get a result, then you know they have made good choices, good players.
And they're 1 week on the rise.
Well, look, they're turning things around, and that made this, you know, sometimes you play a wildcard to do that, and this might be the moment.
In 14th place, we have Rosie Rovers, 47 points, no transfers. Captain, of course, was Fernandez. Eamon, not a lot going on with this team, but they're getting the points.
Yeah, this is another one of these managers that, you know, I mean, scratching my head. They're not doing much with their team, but yet they're getting points in. Chilwell slotted in nicely there. And you know, he got 15 points. Cresswell had the 7 points there. Now, you know, they got points in the midfield. Nothing massive. But they did have Iniatiochu up at the top there in the forward lines as a change, and a much better change than having the like of the Antonio, the Lukaku and the Ronaldo. They got 5 points. And for that, credit has to be given. But to me, they're a team that aren't really paying much attention. And not much going on here.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Now they're 2 weeks though on the rise. Things are in a positive scheme for them there though. Hector, anything to add at all there?
No, nothing. You know, I think, you know, sometimes maybe managers don't want to make a change or do a change. But sometimes you have to do the change to make the change to get the change. And when you get that right, then, you know, you're thinking at it. And maybe you tweak with 1 or 2 players, you are flying. Don't always see this with some managers. I think this is one of the managers who's not really doing much with their team, but look, here you see they're getting points.
And finally then, in 15th place, El Loco John. 51 points, no transfers, Eamon.
Yeah, no transfers. Another one of these transfer shy managers, but look, 51 points is okay. They went for Lukaku as their captain, 4 points. Ollie Watkins was sitting across from him. He got 4 points, so if you had him as captain, you'd be alright. Wise to have Heiberg, 5 points. De Bruyne got the 11. McGinn got them at 13. Did Stone sitting at the back there and got 6. They're picking up points there. Bench needs to be adjusted, but look, other than that, you know, a good result. So this is not too bad.
So that's our managers for this week. Lads, before we go, is there any players that you think you'd bring in at this point, taking into account that there's some lads not really performing at the moment?
And I think one chap that I would be interested in would be Jared Bowen from West Ham. This guy has 32 points to date, and at 6.3 million, I think he's worth a punt. He's doing good. Sadio Mane for Liverpool would be another player for me. He has 49 points. Now, he is worth 11.9 million. He's a little pricey, but I think, you know, you factor in that if you've got Ronaldo and Lukaku up front, the cost of them, I think Mane's return is much better. And of course, I'd always have the Sonny Son from Spurs. He's 51 points to date. He is worth the 10.1 million. But I'd put it to you like this. You'd be better off with Mane and Sonny Son in the midfield than Lukaku and Ronaldo up front.
That's your call on that, Eamon.
Yeah.
Hector, I think, you know, if you go for Dunk from Brighton, he He has 38 points to date, and he's only 5 million. And the other player who I like is Townsend from Everton. He has 45 points. He's only worth 5.7 million. I think they're well priced, good budget, not too expensive, but they are effective. And then, as I was saying, to get the point up the front, Vardy from Leicester is the only player I think who would be worthy to have in the team there. He has 56 points to date. He's worth the 10.6 million. But as Eamon say, better out to have the 10.6 million there than all the millions with the Lukaku and the Ronaldo. All right, okay, so that's that lot there. And for game week 9, now I'm going to throw this one out to you. Who's your wildcard player? Eamon. Right, my wildcard player. Oh yeah, okay, right. Well, that would be Brian Mbeumo from Brentford. He's 5.5 million. He's 29 points, but they have some really good fixtures coming up. I'd have my eye on this guy, so I would. And Hector? It would have to be Rafinha from Leeds. He will be back. He has the 6.6 million. He had the 31 points, is it? But the Leeds have got 7 decent fixtures coming up, so I would be plugging for him. Okay, that'll be it. Okay, thanks. That's quite interesting there. But I hope our listeners and our managers might take a leaf out of your books, and hope we'll see how they get on, of course. Of course, we can see that. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll wrap it up there. And Hector, I know you were late joining us, but thank you. Yes, sorry. I will be back. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Eamon, thank you as always. Yes, thank you very, very much. Nice to be here. I'm looking forward to the football. Yeah, football's starting on Friday now, isn't it? Yeah, that's right, yeah. Can't wait for it. And Hector, as I said, thanks for joining us. Thank you. I give a big shout out to all our fans and listeners in America, and also in Germany and England, and our friends in Ireland. Thank you very much. Look, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't have a Hector shout out, would it? I suppose Hector's going to be doing mugs next or something with his name on them there. Give a shout out and get a mug. Hey, I didn't think of that. It's good. Maybe I make... what do you call it? Oh, yeah, the chocolate teapot. We'll stop it here before we go any further. Lads, as always, thanks for joining. And listeners, thank you for joining us. And as always, thank you for subscribing. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about us. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a good day, good evening, a good night, and that you'll join us next week for yet again another episode. And I think that we may have Captain Fantastical Mick joining us next week. So until then, take care